This is an English pub. Just the place for a little something to warm the cockles of your heart while I chill your blood. They give you a mulled claret here, guaranteed to fortify you against, well, against anything. If the people's clothes seem strange, well, it's because we're back in 1905, when the dollar was still a dollar and the British pound was a beautiful gold coin. We are going to see three forces of evil, three stories, each a masterpiece of strangeness and terror. In this room is a young man who is on his way to commit a murder.
Katie, can't you be patient? I told you I'll get everything. When he kicks the bucket.
Isn't it time he did?
Katie, he can't last long. He's half off his head already, fiddling around with this weird hocus-pocus he goes in for.
Simon, you're backing down again, aren't you, dear?
No.
Then what is it, my sweet? Surely you don't doubt your plan will work.
Yes, it'll work.
You've got the plan. What you need is the courage to carry it out.
That's a nice thing to say, isn't it? After all, I'm the one that's going to be hanged if anything goes wrong.
Well, if that's the way you feel...
Oh, no, Katie, wait a minute.
My dear, it's as simple as this. If you don't go through with it, I'm through with you. I'm very fond of you, Ducky, but I can live without you. Money, I've got to have.
Listen, Katie. Leave it to me. Miss...
She wants money, he wants her. Well, to satisfy both these desirous young people, someone will have to die. Drink your claret. You're going to need it. You are about to meet the extra passenger in one of the eeriest tales ever told.
Ticket, please, sir. You're for Aberdeen. Change to Edinburgh. Why, I wouldn't do that, sir. This braces work loose. I'll make a note of it in my report. Next stop, Sudbury, Benford, East Chelmley after that.
Ah, doze for a while, I think.
Very good, sir.
Sudbury. 7 minutes past 10. And Bedford Junction. East Chelmley at 9 minutes past 11. Over an hour. Well, that's plenty of time. It's plenty. Now, 4 minutes to Uncle's house. And a straight run. Back to East Chelmley. Then on the train. Nobody's the wiser. It's perfect. Foolproof. I do say so myself.
Sudbury, Sudbury, all off for Sudbury. Edinburgh, Aberdeen and Inverness. All aboard. Oh, excuse me, sir.
Yeah, I must have dozed off.
I thought you might like some tea, sir.
Oh, no, I don't think I fancy any right now, thank you.
Oh. Aberdeen next stop, sir.
Excuse me. How did you get in here? Did you get on the train when we came through East Chemley, sir? What, are you asleep or something? This is a reserved compartment, you know. Why didn't I see you when I came in? Look, you've no right here. You're in the wrong compartment.
I am not.
Where did you get on?
After you got off.
Well, I haven't been off a train.
I thought you might have gone to see your uncle.
Oh, you know my uncle?
Yes. It's a pity you didn't know more about him.
Look, if there's something I ought to know, I'd like to hear it.
Oh, but you shall. Your uncle was a mage.
Madge?
A warlock, then, if you like it better.
So if he is a warlock, what does he do?
He has his own familiar on wings.
On wings?
He can send a lich or two about if he has a mind to do it.
A lich? What's that?
A lich is a corpse. Your uncle was a great one for doing things like that. He could send a corpse about for a special purpose. Like now.
He was a great one for doing things like that? He was, you say?
You know what I mean.
And you, whoever you are, you know a great deal too much.
Simon! Come to me, Simon. Bring your face nearer to me, son.
But he was alone in here, Doctor. Both these doors were locked.
Whether he was alone or not, locked in or not, I think I can tell you what killed him. These marks look as if they were made by a fighting cock. As if its claws punctured his throat. Strange. Strange.
You'll take another glass of this claret, of course. It'll brace you for a different force of evil. All the night birds show up sooner or later in a pub like this. Musicians between shows, detectives looking for someone, peers of the realm, reporters, actors, men about town, the flotsam of a great city. And people in trouble, or looking for trouble.
You know what we really want is something different.
Well, you do get tired of Piccadilly. Musical comedies and all that stuff. Ugh.
Pardon me? Do you mind if I join you two gentlemen?
Well, by all means.
I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. Have you gents ever heard of Royster House? Lots of swells go there.
You mean that old place that looks like a castle down on the Isle of Dogs?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And they're always pulling dead people out of the river down there. Not a mark on them. Nothing to show how they died.
Oh, go on. Them's was in the old days. There's gambling, gents, and it's straight, too. Now, if you want a little flutter, there's the place for it.
Sounds like fun.
You're, guards officers off duty, ain't you, Ducks?
How did she know?
Now, mind you, I wouldn't recommend the place if it wasn't all above board.
Oh, of course you wouldn't. What do you say, Ashton?
Yeah, might be rather interesting. No, I better not. I have an engagement.
Ah, who with?
Supper with Marcia.
Well, that's too bad. Good night.
Yeah, how about a little pint for me, dearie?
Well, why not?
Ta.
Good night.
Right.
And number 4 wins. What did I tell you? Tonight I can't lose. You're my mascot. You're bringing me luck. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Place your bets. No more betting, ladies and gentlemen. No more betting. Number 5 and red, sir.
Never seen anything like it, sir. Upon my honor as a soldier. Never.
I just bet on impulse, and I keep getting the right number. Thank you, boy. Thank you.
Break the bank if this keeps up.
I'll chuck it in, sir.
All right. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put everything on number 2. Number 2. You win, sir.
How dare you, sir? You've done it again, sir. You broke the bank.
Ladies and gentlemen, play is discontinued for tonight.
Congratulations, sir.
That's it.
If this money was mine, sir, I'd hire a steam yacht, sail to south of France, and spend the rest of my life in Monte Carlo. A gentleman at leisure. That's been the dream of my life.
Well, jolly good. And I hope you make it.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope I do. Hard and round as a cannonball. If only they'd fired cannonballs like this at Balaclava.
Oh, you were in the Crimean War, eh?
This is my regimental scarf, sir. I've only one other. The lamp was ours, the old cherry pickers. My souvenir, sir. Remember the charge of the Light Brigade? These were fired at us.
Forward the Light Brigade. Charge for the guns, they said.
Russian guns. We went across a mile at them, a mile of open space. Cannons to the right of us, cannons to the left of us, cannon in front of us volleyed and thundered. Ours not to reason why, ours but to do or die. Only 1 in 3 came back, sir. And now I'm hanging up hats and coats.
The old cherry pickers, pride of the line. Whoops.
Steady, does it, sir? You'd be mad to try to get back to your quarters, sir. You could very easily be robbed.
Yeah.
You can find a room, can't you?
We often put people up, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oopsie daisy. Oh.
All right, sir. It's all right, sir. I'll carry it, sir.
Jolly good, sir.
Come along, young
Jolly
man.
good. Everybody's being very kind. You know, I think I'm a little tight.
Better put your money under the pillow, sir.
A very good idea. Good night.
Oh, it's you.
Get up.
Go away.
Turn out. I want to show you something. Get out of bed. Come on. What do you want? I won a fortune tonight.
Oh, a fortune.
You don't believe in gambling, do you? You say you can never win at it.
Did you wake me up to ask me that?
I want to give you the surprise of your young life.
Cannons to the right of us, cannons to the left of us, cannons in front of us volleyed and thundered. Ha!
I sometimes think, and perhaps you do too, how outrageous it would have seemed to anyone 100 years ago if they had been told that someday men would be doing exactly what you're doing now, listening to a voice, watching a picture, plucked, as it were, out of the air. We've learned a lot in the last 100 years. But how much do you suppose has been forgotten in the past 5,000? You know how scientists scoff at folklore and ancient beliefs, but every now and then they amaze themselves with the discovery that our remote ancestors were right after all. Our third tale of terror contains the echo of an ancient fable, which may not be a fable at all. It begins with a manhunt, a search for a murderer, a strangler, if you will.
We've thrown a cordon around the entire area.
Detectives are watching at local railway stations and all bus stops.
You're sure it's the latent strangler?
Positive.
And we know he's in this area.
And the girl is dead, Inspector?
Yes, she is. Strangled, just like the others. We don't often get this sort of a criminal, thank heaven. But this time we know who we're after.
He's a clever devil, but he won't get away from us this time.
We have his trademark.
Black kid glove. He left this at the scene of the crime.
It's all a mistake. I can explain everything. I can explain it. Dummies. Dummies. Statues.
My pets amuse you, sir? I am the only live one here.
I thought they were all alive. I came in and there they were, all staring at me. It gave me a bit of a turn for a minute. They are lifelike, you know, very. I've never seen figures as good as this. You must be quite an artist at it.
You're really very kind. Would you like me to show you around?
Well, if it isn't too much trouble.
Not at all. It is beyond my usual closing time. If you don't mind, I will lock up. Now we shan't be interrupted. Not that it makes much difference. Not many people come here, especially at night. Let us start over here, shall we, sir? This is Rogerson. He poisoned his brother, his brother's wife, and their 7-year-old child. Cyanide of potassium. You can see by his face a selfish, cruel man.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, what do you think of this one? Didn't he come out well?
Yes, he did. Who is he?
Nick Chalt. Shebenik, they called him, because the knife was his weapon. He was a gypsy gambler. When he ran out of money, he would steal and cut his victim's throat if he resisted.
He is enough to scare the daylights out of anybody. All he needs is the knife in his hand.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
You've got wonderful detail in him. You've caught him very well. He is very lifelike, you know. Well, these are works of art, no doubt about it.
I like to think so. For several years now, I have devoted myself to them. Until that time, my whole interest was in Grecian archaeology. Come, I will show you one that I think you will find very interesting. Now, this one I like very much, perhaps best of all. He was a physician, and the first man, as far as I know, to use air to create an embolism. That is to say, he injected air to kill his victims.
Another murderer? Are these all murderers?
Yes, they're all murderers. I show these fiends in all their bestiality. I show them actually as they were. Do you like port, sir?
Yes, I would very much. Only murderers. There are other crimes, you know.
Oh, but surely nothing so wicked as the deliberate destruction of a human life.
Yes, you're right, of course, quite right.
Even now the police are looking for such a man. The strangler who brutally murdered his innocent victims. A foul thing, sir. Well, I must not bore you, sir. We were talking about Dr. Hartwell.
Hartwell? Did you say Dr. Hartwell?
Yes?
I remember the paper saying that he'd always been careful about his photo being taken. There were hardly any pictures of him when he disappeared.
No, I believe that was so.
This looks perfect. I didn't know he'd even been caught. Now, if you made it up from descriptions...
Oh, no, I didn't make it up. No.
You got hold of some photos, I suppose.
No. Well, I am an artist. I have methods of my own.
You certainly are an artist. This must be a special stone you use. It's very hard and it's very cold, too. There isn't much color about him, is there? I noticed that they all look a bit gray. Tell me, Mr. Milo, is this just a model of Dr. Hartwell, or is this the doctor himself?
Well, yes. That is, or was, Dr. Hartwell.
You said these were murderers the police had never caught.
Oh, there was no legal evidence against them, but they were guilty.
But what about her?
Oh, it is just a touch. I thought the surroundings were appropriate. She was the widow Linden. Her husband was a butcher, most unpleasant man, so she ground him up and sold him for sausages.
You killed them. You took it upon yourself to kill them and petrify them somehow. And then to exhibit them here in this freak shop. You're a worse murderer than any of them.
I beg you, sir, you do not understand.
But 12. You've got it marked on your door. What did you do? Poison them, shoot them, drop them alive in a vat of plaster?
I did not kill them.
They wouldn't have killed themselves.
But they did. All the same way.
How?
I could tell you. I don't think you would believe me. Have you heard of the Gorgon's head, the head of Medusa?
Medusa? Wasn't that a monster of some sort?
No, no. Medusa was a queen. She actually lived. You are like all the rest of them. You believe only what you read in Greek legends, how horrible she was, how Perseus slew her.
Didn't he see her reflection in his polished shield or something when he killed her?
Yes, because it was death to look upon her face, upon her mask, as they call it.
Anyone who did that was...
turned to stone.
Medusa was a myth, a made-up story. Just looking at someone can't petrify your blood or turn your flesh to stone. You know that's impossible.
Is it? Would you dare to look upon the face of Medusa? Perseus buried Medusa's head in the marketplace at Argos in Greece. The ruins of that ancient town are still there. You can see them. I located that marketplace and dug there.
I don't believe you.
I don't expect you to believe me. But consider this. Radium, newly discovered, invisibly burns human flesh from the distance. Nobody knows how, but it happens. Why shouldn't there be similar substances that draw the life out of a body and petrify the remains? Here is a piece of wood that has been petrified. That has turned to stone. Consider Lot's wife, suddenly turned into a pillar of salt. And explain to me, please, how electrical impulses travel along a solid wire, travel thousands of miles instantaneously. Nobody knows how these things are done. That is not to say they cannot be done, that they have never been done and never will be done.
All right, have it your own way. But let me tell you something. You wouldn't want the police dissecting these, would you? Not if you killed them.
I did not kill them. They killed themselves. By looking.
By looking. All right, I won't argue with you. But you still don't want the police nosing about here, do you?
Mr. Milo! Mr. Milo! Mr. Milo, open up, please.
Just a moment.
Sorry to bother you, Mr. Milo, but we're searching all the buildings in this area.
We're looking for someone, sir. Do you mind if we come in?
Not at all.
All right, Grimes.
Pardon me, sir, but for whom are you looking?
The Strangler, the Leighton Strangler. We know he's in the area.
Who is he? What does he look like?
We don't know that, Mr. Milo.
All we know is that he's a madman and wears gloves. Black kid gloves.
Black kid gloves?
Yes, odd little quirk now, isn't it?
Very good. Very interesting, yes. You don't seem to have any equipment here. You don't make them on the premises, do you?
No, I don't make them here.
Well, none of these models seem to be breathing. Nobody could be here without Mr. Milo knowing.
All right, then we'll get along, men. Thank you, Mr. Milo.
Thank you, sir.
I've never seen very many people in and out of your place, Mr. Milo, but we had to check, you know.
Mr. Milo, you don't make much of a living here, do you?
No, but I have a private income.
I think I can tell you why. You don't have much of an attraction here. All you have is a gallery of suspects. What you really need are wax figures of genuine convicted murderers dressed in their own clothes. Sort of chamber of horrors, don't you know? That's what the people really like. Good night, Mr. Milo.
Good night, sir. You were hiding from them.
Well, I'm in a little trouble. I didn't want to be seen. I don't want to be caught hanging around here either. They might come back. You can help me get away. Now, you must have a crate or something you move these models in. Now, if I was the model in the crate, alive, of course, you can hire a van to move it. Do you see what I mean?
Tonight? That would cost money. I don't know where.
Well, I've got plenty of money. Now, what'll it cost? 10 pounds, 20 pounds? I tell you, I've got plenty of money. I've got plenty of money.
You are the man who killed that girl.
Well, that's nothing to what you've been up to. If the police ever get on to what's been going on around here, 12 of them right in here. Now, what about that crate? Once I get away, I'll be safe, and so will you, too. There's no chance that they'll ever find me, I'll tell you that.
Maybe. They are very determined about you.
I'll get away, all right. If you don't want to help me, I'm no worse off. The police have gone now. I can try it on my own. They won't catch me.
Wait. Wait.
I don't even have to be caught to tip them off about you either. I can send a message or even telephone. Come on now, make up your mind one way or another.
I have. I didn't want to do this, but you forced me.
Well, so long as you do it, that's all I care. Someone around here must have a horse and van.
You don't accept my story about the Medusa, do you? You think it rings untrue.
You'd have to be crazy to believe that.
You think that these are all corpses that I have treated with plaster?
I don't see how they can be anything else.
None of them ever believed me. Perhaps nobody ever will.
Now listen, what about that crate?
I'd hoped to convince you, but since I have failed, look, you murderer! Look on the mask of Medusa!